correctly.
A snackle box.
Snackle box looks amazingly full of all different pods.
Yes.
I will totally leave the floor open to y'all for a little while to kind of tell everyone what y'all are about. And I definitely have some questions, but we're going to also see what anyone who's, would like to talk about as well, if that works.
Yeah, definitely. We got started about a year ago, and April is going to be our birthday. The cat's out of the bag, so we're going to be doing a big birthday bash with Tank Talk with Tyann to celebrate. And let's see, about a year. We do phytoplankton, copepods, Bergia nudibranchs, and we normally sell amphipods too. We're trying to grow those out. They take so long to grow and mature and reproduce. And so we're kind of letting those grow again before we put them back on our website. As most of you know, we started this as sort of to fill a need that we were looking for, that we discovered that we couldn't really find what, like we did find, and it was so expensive. A local coral store here was selling a 16-ounce bottle of pods for $50, or phytoplankton for $50. And so David's like, let me see if I can do that.
Like, I've been doing some research, I think, and so kind of find out $50 is probably a little bit much for phytoplankton, so we definitely don't charge that much for it, but we started growing it. And our local fish store that we got all of the fish in that tank from actually said he'd be interested in buying any excess from us, because phyto is one of those things where it's just as easy to grow a gallon as it is to grow a quart, and so we're like, well, we're probably gonna have extra, and he's like, yeah, I'll buy it off of you. And so it kind of, one thing led to another. We started putting it on Reef to Reef and Facebook Marketplace and things. And pretty soon people were asking to buy it. And so I threw up a website and people started buying more. And so we actually got a real live web designer and just kind of went from there.
And Ryan, we agree. Yes, we agree. Somebody does need to come out with a refrigerated doser for phyto.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was, when we talked yesterday, I'm like, wait, I would love to have that in my dosing system. But apparently that's just not, well, whoever does is going to be a genius.
Yes, definitely. I do know, in the meantime, until that magical person comes along, there are plenty of people that use wine chillers.
I mean, they got to keep it close to their tank, but I think those two go hand in hand pretty nicely.
Yeah. You could even use just a styrofoam cooler like we ship the product in and fill it with ice periodically.
That's not a bad idea either.
Yeah.
I have space in my tank underneath, which if I could do it all over again, I'd probably change. But the one thing that's good for me is it keeps me in check. I'll never go too big on my tank.
One thing that we've seen people do is use like the little small refrigerators, and we've heard good things and bad things at that. Like, why you wouldn't want to use one of those is because you're putting a hole in that refrigerator with all of the components that a refrigerator has to keep it cool, the coolant and stuff like that. And we've actually heard of people like starting fires that way. So definitely use your wine chiller first.
Yeah. I mean, and it would be interesting because I know they have chillers for, in the aquatic industry as well, if they can minimize or make a miniature version.
Right.
But
I think it probably might come down to like cost effectiveness. Would you? Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad your husband's there, so I will let my son off the hook for reading the questions.
I know. I glance down periodically too, and I'll see. Yes.
So no, and I just wanted to keep it away. I just got the look from hell from him, but that's okay.
It happens. We have one of those too.
I'm very lucky. It's his spring break, so we're good. Well, I'm going to bring up some of the questions I kind of brought up when I was hosting this event.
Yeah.
And based off what we talked about, and then like I said, the floor is totally yours, and we appreciate your time, and congratulations on so 1 full year you said, or 2?
One.
That's
one.
Awesome. I mean, y'all, the product, everything looks great for such a quick turnaround.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course. So the most basic question for me, I'll use myself. I have no problem saying I've done everything wrong in this industry and I've learned the hard way. And that's the other thing that why I want to keep this a fun, open forum and do different things for our viewers is you have to learn, live and learn. I now have a job because Texas was hit with that freeze 2 years ago and I lost everything. 5 days, no power. But not going to happen again. So why would someone want to pod their reef, use Phyto when they're starting a tank and also when they already have established tanks? I know that's a very broad question. So
No.
please,
No, definitely. I can get us started. David's got to run because the baby we put him to bed and apparently he decided to not stay there. So why would somebody want to pod their reef whenever they're just getting started? So there's many reasons. It's a lot easier to seed your tank with pods if there are no fish in it. If there are no fish in it or no corals in it, then you're not going to have those animals eating your pods while you're trying to seed your tank. On top of that, pods and Phyto can help with those early like ugly stage issues that people get, you know, dinos and the algae that you don't want because they help outcompete. They take the resources that those bad algae would live off of and thrive off of, and they put them to good use instead. You want those live copepods, but you don't want dinos, and you don't want cyano, and you don't want all of those things, but you do want copepods. And so those are some of the good reasons on why you'd want to seed your tank early. Let's say you already have fish in your tank. Can you still seed your tank after you put fish in there? Absolutely. It may take you a few months longer. It may take you a couple more bottles, but you still can seed your tank even after you have fish and corals in there. And yet again, there's many good benefits to seeding a tank at any time, whether it's new or old. Your fish are going to eat them. You're still, I don't care how old your tank is, the possibility of you getting an algae bloom with your mini like ammonia cycles that pop up every once in a while, they're all going to help those. It's all about creating as much biodiversity inside of your tank as possible. And having live Phyto and live copepods in there definitely increase your biodiversity. Hey, Jeremy, we can't hear you again.
I thought I got the stand working, but is that better?
Yes.
Might have to do the neck raise. But so now when, you know, so many people are told to start a tank, get some, you know, cheap chromis, different things like that. And that helps you, you know, and add bacteria. And that's how you're going to cycle your tank. Do you recommend doing the pods as part of the cycling in the first 6 weeks?
No, we recommend that you wait and to add Phyto and copepods until after your tank is cycled.
So after the, you know, 4 to 6 weeks and you checked all the levels.
Right.
Yes.
Copepods are a little bit more forgiving whenever it comes to like nitrates and nitrites and phosphates and stuff. They are a little bit more forgiving than say like fish or corals would be, but you still, I mean, that's still stress that you don't necessarily want to put them through.
Yeah, they really don't care for ammonia too much, so they're a little forgiving of some ammonia levels, but definitely wouldn't want to go crazy.
Gotcha. So still kind of do the normal, what all fish stores tell you, set it up, do your bacteria, do your copepods for your 4 to 6 weeks, make sure you go through all your ammonia, nitrates, nitrites, all that fun stuff. Then do a pod cycle.
Right.
And on average, depending on the size of the tank and how much you're dosing, which on your site, you definitely give good information for volume to ratios. How long a normal cycle would last?
Well,
and I'm gonna
what we always recommend doing is to, so I guess it depends on exactly what you mean by cycle. What we always suggest for people to do is to use a product like Dr. Tim's or Fritz Turbo Start or what have you to go ahead and get the bacteria going, and you can usually have a completely cycled tank pretty much out of the bottle. And then, of course, then there's the more longer term cycle that sometimes people refer to where we make it through the ugly stages and our tank is fully seeded with pods and everything. So it just kind of depends on exactly what you're talking about in terms of cycle. But what I would say that copepods help tremendously at shortening and lessening the severity of the ugly stages. We did not know much when we first started our fish tanks, but we watched the BRS 52 weeks of reefing videos, and in there Ryan is constantly talking about copepods, copepods, copepods. And so we seeded our tank with copepods, and we're like, where's the ugly stage? Like, where's the ugly stage? Where's all of this stuff that we're supposed to get? So it's definitely not a magic bullet, but it helps tremendously in lessening the severity of the ugly stage because copepods eat a lot of those things that you don't want in your tank. They don't eat all species of cyanobacteria, but they do eat some. They help. They eat some species of dinos. They help outcompete things like diatoms and other types of algae and everything. So if your pods are consuming those nutrients, then you don't have bryopsis consuming those nutrients or what have you. So they definitely help tremendously.
And my assistant is not handing my next question.